Hey, everybody, I am Stuart Cohen, and this is the Group Sales Power Hour. I'm so proud of myself that I wrote a note that says record. And sometimes we have to leave these notes, right? To remind us of stuff we know we should remember. We've only done 400,000 times, but it never hurts to leave a little reminder note. And I'm very excited to be here. There was a bit of a gap in between our gatherings. That's because I just got back. Well, you can probably see it if you're here live. If you're here on the podcast, you certainly can't see it, but you'll hear this from Panama City Beach. And it's kind of a little bit of the theme. I want to tie in that event, which I'll tell you about, to today's program. You're in for some real fun today. But if this is your first time here, let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that there's only one goal here on the Group Sales Power Hour, and that's to help you build a bigger, better group business. And if you haven't already mastered the group business, I hope you're not too late. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Okay, because I know some of you are like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm still in your boot camp, but Stuart, I'm still working it. I'm still struggling. I still have challenges. Look, if you haven't done anything towards building your knowledge base, sharpening your skill sets, practicing what you have learned during this in-between period, then you might be a little behind the eight ball. However, I know because I see all my friends here. I see who's in the audience, and I know each and every one of you have been prodigious and tenacious. I love those words. And you never let up, whether it's Danny or Doreen or Hans or Linda or Ramona or Trinita or Lisa. You showed up today for this. You're listening to this. That means you want to do better. You want to succeed. You're not happy with the way it is, the way it's been. How can I do better? And that's the theme of today's Power Hour as it relates not only to group sales, but really business in general. And I'm going to kind of tether it to something that I just accomplished that I got to tell you, I was really scared of, really fearful of, never thought for a second I could ever accomplish in my entire life. It was a goal that gave me goosebumps. Love that. And I did it. And we're going to tie things together. So the theme is that travel advising, if you don't mind me making what you do a verb, okay? Instead of just saying you're a travel advisor, what you do is you're a travel advising. That's the verb of what you do, okay? Because you really can't say travel agenting. That doesn't work. Travel agenting, that doesn't work. Good morning, everybody. I love when you send me those beautiful welcome messages, and I appreciate your words, Doreen, and everybody. Your congratulations. So I completed successfully and healthily an Ironman 70.3. You know, there are two kinds of Ironman races. One is a 140.6 and one is a 70.3. We are not talking about the 140.6 because that is not in the cards for this guy, your friend, your buddy, Stu. At 57, I don't think I can. I mean, that's just, okay. Never say never, but I'm telling you never. However, the 70.3 was it for me. And basically, that is a 1.2 mile swim, a 56-mile bike ride, and a half marathon, 13.1 mile run. And I've been training since March of last year, just when COVID hit. Couldn't access the pools, but I could run, I could cycle, and I learned how to swim at first watching YouTube swimmers. True story. In any case, here's the tethering that's going to happen today as it relates to your business, that travel advising is an endurance sport. That's sort of the theme today. Travel advising is an endurance sport. Does that resonate with you? I hope it does, because I see so many of my friends here. Kyle's in the house too. You've been in it for the long haul. And man, oh man, I don't know how far back each of you go, but you've this is an endurance sport, isn't it? This travel advising. Going back over all the years of the ebbs and the flows, the dips and the challenges and the changes and the struggles. It is, and that's what an Ironman event is. It's an endurance sport, and there are so many parallels. So many parallels. I trained for over a year. I set a goal, and I stayed focused, even though this in-between period has sucked. Now, granted, it wasn't, I can't compare it on the level that you all experience, dear friends, because this is your income. This is your livelihood. That was not my livelihood. That's not my income. However, it became a part-time job for me. I couldn't just fit it in. It took a priority on my daily schedule, as does your training, as does your workshops and Zoom calls and conferences that I hope you'll be able to travel to once again. It's an enormous commitment of time. It's about setting your goals. And stick around too, because I have a wonderful friend, Lisa, who gave me permission to read a Facebook post that was very courageous, very emotional, very raw. And she posted it in our private mastermind group. She gave me permission to read it to you because it was just so fitting with what we're discussing today. She's going to be live with us, and I'm going to read that shortly, and we're going to all together, we're going to listen to Lisa, and we're going to give Lisa some words of wisdom, some encouragement that she can reach the finish line. And this is for each and every one of you, because I can't believe everything is perfect. If it was, you are awesome, beautiful, magnificent, and I want what you're drinking. There's always a struggle, right? There's always a challenge. So here's how we're going to start off. I have identified 7 quotes from this book. It's called 100 Bedtime Stories for Triathletes, that helped give me inspiration. It was sent to me by another dear friend, Barbara Sam Roberts. She sent this to me and Mike Marshev because we were both training for the same event. In fact, it inspired Mike to write his own book, 100 Bedtime Stories for Travel Advisors. If you haven't ordered it yet, please do. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's uplifting. It's inspiring. And let me share these quotes that I specifically picked out with you today on today's Power Hour that I hope will give you some elevation. I hope will give you some clarity. I hope will give you some lift, because things are happening right now. Isn't that so? Tell me, is it true? Are the phones ringing? Are the emails dinging? Are things starting to shake and move? But it's still not perfect now, is it? You're still out there competing. Maybe you're still doing the swim. Maybe you're still doing the bike ride. Maybe you're still doing the run. You haven't crossed the finish line yet. Now, have you? Have you? I would love to go into details about the 6 hours and 55 minutes and 25 seconds it took me to complete this triathlon. And by the way, it was my first triathlon ever. I had never even done a sprint triathlon. I went big. Go big or go home, baby. But I did it. I'm smiling. And I'm proudly wearing it. Not many people get to wear it. So I'm not showing off. I'm just saying, hey, look at me. Look, this is my certificate, right? So whether it's you, Danny, or you, Carla, whoever it is that you've just completed something, you wear the shirt, you wear the hat, or you put the certificate up, because I wanted to inspire others. And to be honest with you, it reminds me of what I did, because I still can't believe what I did. Let me read you a few of these quotes, and let's see, you tell me if you think they are relatable to my concept, my theory that travel advising is an endurance sport. And there's so many in here, but I just picked 7. And I really, really, really love this. I'm too positive to be doubtful. too optimistic to be fearful, and too determined to be defeated. Is that you? If you showed up today for the Power Hour, if you're listening to this as a podcast, I know that's you, because if you were not positive, if you were doubtful, if you were pessimistic, if you were fearful and undetermined and feeling defeated, you wouldn't show up. But you're here. I'm going to read it one more time, because this is all about attitude, and attitude impacts performance, doesn't it? It says here right before the quote, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you're not prepared, then you may have reason to be negative, doubtful, pessimistic, fear-filled, and feeling you might be defeated. I'm too positive to be doubtful, too optimistic to be fearful, and too determined to be defeated. Attitude is everything. And when I set out, embarked on this journey, I got a call from Mike and Frank. Frank is my coach. He is a 5-time Ironman. He's done over 100 assorted races. He's an amazing man, friend, and coach. I couldn't have done it without Frank and without Mike and without my wife, Kimberly. In any case, if I didn't follow his plan and feel his enthusiasm and encouragement, then I would have lost any hope of doing this. They called me back in January of 2020. Was it 2020, 2019? I don't remember now, 2020. And they said, hey, you want to do a Ironman 70.3? I said, yeah, you're joking. I can't swim, guys. It's ridiculous. Never happened. Well, you think about it, right? And I knew the only way to get there was to set a really ridiculously big goal, right? And believe it in order to achieve it. Second goal. I hope you like that one, by the way. Did you like that one? I hope so. Next one. If at first you don't succeed, try doing what your coach told you to do the first time. If you don't succeed, try doing what your coach told you to do the first time. I'll tell you why this resonates with me, not only as for the sport that I just did as a triathlete. It's just weird saying that because I've only done one. So am I a triathlete? I don't know. I did it one time, although I'm going to do it again in Memphis here in October. If I didn't listen to my coach, I would have never finished healthy. Perhaps I would have never finished. There is no way I would have known how to build up endurance and proficiency and knew how to handle the transitions, and so that I could survive something like that, because I just refused to fail. And I share this with you, dear friends, my travel advisors in the audience, because having been in the travel and hospitality sector and known some of you for all of my, 25, 26, 27 years or longer. I spent 22 years on the corporate side and 14 private. So, wow, there you go. So that's 30. Oh my goodness, there's you go. There's the ADHD. I can't add. Give me the number. 22 and 14, 36. No, it can't be. All right, forget about it. No, I'm not going to edit that out either. I just can't add. You get the picture. I've seen so many travel professionals, owners, whether they're independent contractors, they come back to me a month, 6 months, a year later. I see them. How's it going? It's the same. Well, were you able to implement it? Did you give this a try? And for those of you in boot camp or just attended the group sales summit with Nexion in Cancun a few weeks back, or attended my boot camp live in March, last one, final one, forever, coming up in June. Did you try group launch sequence? Did you write a group agreement letter? Did you give it the group viability test? Well, no, because I didn't think I needed to, because things look good, things look promising. I didn't think it was necessary. Okay, let me read this again to you. If at first you don't succeed, try doing what your coach told you to do the first time. And we're not perfect, but sometimes we miss some of the things that our coaches say and share. And when I coach you from a business perspective, dear professionals, I'm saying you this because I'm giving you stuff that's been practiced. They're not theories, like, right? Group launch secrets. It's not a theory. We know it works. The agreement letter works because once you do it, you have much better control over the outcome. And speaking of control, that's such a key word. We talked about that so much at the summit and so much during Boot Camp Live and in Boot Camp. They hire you, friends, to take control of the group. And if things aren't going well or right, or maybe you missed something. Maybe there's a place where you can strengthen. We can't always blame our client. I can't blame the weather. But by the time I hit the run to do 13.1 miles, it was 80 degrees. There was heavy car traffic. Yeah, we had a run area, but we were running in and around and through traffic. Yes, never had to stop because the sheriffs were awesome, Panama City Beach. However, there were car fumes and it was hot. It was unpleasant, but I couldn't control it. I couldn't stop that. So the only thing I could control was me. And I listened to my coach over and over in my head. All you want to do is run the next mile, run to the next milepost. During my swim, which was the most terrorizing, nightmarish experience, which I doesn't sure I was fully prepared for. Obviously I was, because I made it, because I had a lot of tricks and techniques just in case things were tough, because there were rolling waves out there. We had to swim a half mile out, then 0.2 of a mile to the right, and then half a mile back to the beach. There was no way I was quitting, man. There's no way I was quitting. But I remembered what coach told me: swim to the next buoy, Stuart. Don't look towards the beach, which I couldn't see anyway. Swim to the next buoy. So if at first you don't succeed, do what your coach told you the first time. Next. I said this before, but I just want to share it with you. Do your goals give you goosebumps? Each and every one of you right now. Do your goals give you goosebumps? Should they? I think so. When I signed up and paid the money for both of these races, I got goosebumps day in, day out. And I'm smiling now because I achieved one or two. And I hope that you get goosebumps when you write down your goals, say them out loud, share them with others, and they look at you and go, wow, that's pretty ambitious. Trinita, that's pretty ambitious. Ramona, that's pretty ambitious. Marina and Linda and Kyle and Hans and Doreen and Danny and Carla and Lisa. And that should give you even more goosebumps, knowing that others are like, wow, you go. Good for you. Let me know how it goes. Oh, you did it? Boy, am I inspired. Am I impressed? I hope your goals give you goosebumps. Next one, number 3. And this really has to do with what we've all come through, right? I call it the great in-between. Even though we say, well, will life start again? Well, there was life in this in-between too. What did we do in this in-between? And I sure hope that each and every one of you and your family and friends are healthy. I know so many have suffered. Let me read this to you from the book, 100 Bedtime Stories for Triathletes by Alan Pittman. I didn't write these quotes, he did. Holding a grudge doesn't make you stronger, it makes you bitter. Forgiving doesn't make you weak, it sets you free. One more time. Holding a grudge doesn't make you stronger, it makes you bitter. Forgiving doesn't make you weak, it sets you free. And what that does to me is it removes, for me personally, some of the anger I felt that I couldn't swim, the anger I felt that even at myself, that I didn't, man, if I had followed the training to perfection, I probably would have done better. I did the best I could, or to other people who got in my way, or events that took me away so I couldn't train the way I was supposed to, unexpected, unanticipated. Were you angry or disappointed or sad or feeling some sense of emotion towards those unclients or clients, hopefully they are prospects or clients again now for you, who canceled, who were nasty to you, mean to you, blamed you. I heard horror stories from you, friends, about people who blamed you for this and demanded money back immediately when you didn't even get your money back and things were crazy, topsy-turvy. So holding a grudge doesn't make you stronger. It makes you bitter. Forgiving doesn't make you weak. It sets you free. And boy, we all experienced a lot of emotions during that period. Isn't that right? Yeah. Lisa said it business in general is like running a full marathon. And Danny said it's been, you added the numbers up for me, 36 years. Thank you, dear friend. Thank you. Okay. Next quote, this is number 4. Let me move along. Because remember, we still have Lisa that we're going to be inspired to have a conversation with. And I'm so glad you're here, by the way. Thank you very much. And here it is. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and make bad decisions. Now, I couldn't read this and look at you because I don't want you to think I'm calling you stupid. I'm not. I am reading exactly what it says on page 27. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is you're stupid and make bad decisions. Right? So, go back to the other quote about holding the grudge or feeling resentment or bitterness. Was it something that we caused? Could we have been a little different? Could we have changed our behavior? Do we need to reevaluate our plans, your goals, friends? Have you? Did you? I know those of you who attended our mastermind, those of you who are working diligently during this in between to reevaluate, resharpen your skills, and maybe completely change your niche and your focus, right, Ramona? Right, Lisa? Right, Hans? Resharpen, refocus, especially Lisa and Ramona, who really had aha moments at that meeting, where you need to think upside down and say, man, I keep doing it the same old way. I'm going to get the same old results. So maybe I need to make some changes. And I'm not saying that you made stupid decisions. I just think that's just a way. He's just having some fun here, giving us a little pinch that what we thought were great decisions may not have been the best. But hey, hindsight is 20/20. Now you know, and maybe it's time to make a change. It's like fitting a square peg into a round hole. Please, let's all of us not try to do that because it ain't never going to work. Here's number 5, how I believe it really fulfills my theme that travel advising is an endurance sport. Listen here. Race with your team, your club members. Encourage them. This is an understatement, an underestimated strength builder. One more time. Race with your team, your club members. Encourage them. This is an underestimated strength builder. So when it comes to your world of travel advising, the way I see this tethered to travel are your colleagues. Right here, right now. Me being with you, you being with others. You being in your own communities outside of boot camp and the power hour, right? Whether you're with a host or whether you're with some organization talking to one colleague or a group. I hope they're encouraging you. You're encouraging them. And he says it's an underestimated strength builder. But if you know what I speak of, then it's not underestimated because you value it. You're here today. You're listening. I appreciate that. And you give me lift too. You give me strength too, because I love preparing for this. So I deliver a meaningful message. So you stick around, because if I say stuff that just is meaningless, then you wouldn't stick around. I really try hard to deliver from the heart of stuff that I feel that I want to share, that I hope that you want to hear too. So it's about that team, and they're not your competitors, right? They're colleagues at the end of the day. And I could have never done what I did in terms of sports, because even though I wasn't racing against the best guy or best gal out there, they whooped my butt. They were super fast, absolutely, blew past me. But I didn't look at them because they're not my competitors. I was like, you go. When I'm out on the bike doing 56 miles, I'm killing it, man. It's my pace. It was nowhere near what these guys and gals were doing. And they would pass. And sometimes they'd say a beautiful comment to me. You go, you got this, you're killing it. Made me feel so great. And then when I passed some riders, I said the same thing. I said, you go, you got this. I'll see you at the finish. I gave them encouragement too. The same with the run. The swim, there was no talking. Okay, number 6, we're almost to the end of the quotes here. Now we're going to talk to Lisa, and of course, always open it up for Q&A. You know, being in the audience here, I'm here for you. So if you have a question, if you have a comment, a suggestion, if you have an experience you want to share, whether it's a success or failure, I hope you'll let your fingers do the typing and type it in so we make sure we talk about it. Because I do want to hear. I am interested keenly. And so does everybody else, because this is a team. Here we go. That's page 49. You have the power within you to be anything you ever desired. You simply have to know what you really want. I will read it one more time, and then I'll give you the comparisons, the metaphors for travel as well. You have the power within you to be anything you ever desired. You simply have to know what you really want. So when it comes to the travel industry and travel advising, I believe this is really honing in on identifying not just your passion, but your true purpose, right? And those of you who were are the mastermind, you get this because that's what it was all about, wasn't it? Really, really, really peeling back that onion, getting to the core, opening up that, I'm thinking avocado, get to that seed on the inside. What's at the very center of your heart and your soul, let you know your purpose is in this gloriously wonderful, incredible, amazingly important business we call travel advising. You want to call it a niche? Go ahead, let's call it a niche. That's all right. That's the word now, isn't it? You simply have to know what you really want. When it comes to sports, for me, I'm that type of guy, as you probably know if you've known me for years. I love a challenge. It's not that I like being challenged. Somebody saying, I dare you. I don't step up for that kind of nonsense. I really don't. I love creating my own impossible challenge, my own seemingly unachievable goal, whether it's starting a new business or launching some kind of campaign like Group Sales Success Summit, or doing Boot Camp Live, or doing a triathlon, an Ironman 70.3. I did it for me, for nobody else, for me, because I love the challenge. I love the discipline. I need that in my life, and I need a future finish line. You see, I need a future finish line to keep me motivated, to keep me moving forward, to keep me improving and growing throughout my life. And again, whether it's sports or whether it's business, I think they're very parallel, which I hope that resonates with you. And finally, oh, no, that was it. I already told you that. Do your goals give you goosebumps? That was it, kids, boys and girls, men and women. It was 6. I really like that. Do your goals give you goosebumps? Maybe I'll write a keynote off of that. Love it. So I hope you enjoyed that, because that's a good setup as we're going to bring Lisa in just a moment. And I want to make sure if she's watching or listening, that Barbara Sam Roberts gets my thanks from my heart. She's so sweet. Just such a wonderful surprise gift she sent. And I love all of you for being here today and for allowing me to share some of that, those metaphors. You know, sometimes we got to take a break from the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, group launch sequence, whatever it is. And we just need to hear some good motivating. And I hope that worked for you. And as we bring Lisa in, Lisa, go ahead and you can unmute and turn on your camera, because as you do that, hey, I just want to remind everybody, we're at the halfway mark. Again, let your fingers do the typing if you want to share something. And just a final reminder, now for those of you who are in boot camp, group sales boot camp, if you will soon, not yet, I'll send you a link so that you can be in boot camp live June 1, 2, 3. Now it's exactly the same as March boot camp live, probably, but I'll get you that link. And for those of you who are listening who have not yet signed up, there's still a couple of seats left, because I don't want to make it too big, because I like to take Q&A after every session. I do 9 modules. It's really jam-packed. They're half days. I know it's a lot of sitting time. I know you're zoomed out. I get it. I would encourage you to do it if I didn't think it'd be worth your time and a couple more bed sores on your butts to be there. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Stuart. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine. I see you terrific. And I'm so grateful that you agreed to be here. Would you give us your 30-second? Who are you? What do you do?
Well, I'm Lisa Holbert, live in Thornton, Colorado, suburb north of Denver. Just passed my 41st year in this wonderful business, and totally changed my focus after Mastermind. So I'm working on my groups, golf trips, which is my passion. Live in a 55 and over community, so that's the bulk of my business, but it's been awesome. And you can share my story. I was on the struggle bus yesterday. It was a rough day, so I appreciate you helping. I just kind of at a roadblock right now.
Before I read this to everybody, which you graciously gave me permission to do, are you on the struggle bus today? How are you today compared to yesterday?
Not quite as overwhelmed today, but I still, didn't accomplish much yesterday. So I've still got this pile that I'm looking at, but little at a time, I'll chip away at it.
Yeah. Okay. Yesterday was the toughest. Today, you see a little bit of light. You're feeling a little bit lighter.
I am. And, for me, I'm the worst with the paperwork side of it. I'm that sales creative. That's my mindset. I just want to talk to people, make that sale. And what I do is I put my needs to invoice in my little needs to invoice box, and then it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Mm-hmm. So I really need a best practice to organize that. Do I set aside a time every day to do that? Do I, there's always interruptions during the day, emails, phone calls, and I live in a retirement community. So most people are retired up here, and they're always popping around, walking around the backyard and coming on the patio. Hey, you want to have a drink? I'm like, no, I'm working right now. So, I struggle with the interruptions too.
Yeah, I hear you.
But they're clients, so I don't want to not chat with them and visit with them, because usually it ends in a conversation about travel. So
sure, I hear you. Yep, that's tough. It's like you're putting yourself out there. You're not only enjoying where you're located and the beauty, the serenity there, and friends are walking by, clients are walking by. So friends, as you're listening here, as I read this and as we talk about Lisa's dilemma, I encourage you, if you have a tip, not a trick, if you have a tip, what is your solution? How do you handle what has confounded, good word, confounded Lisa? All right, so I'm going to read this to you. Lisa, you sent this to me Actually, you sent me an email that was slightly shorter. However, you posted this in a private group. Hi, everyone. Just needed to vent today with an exclamation point. By the way, hi, everyone, exclamation point. Just need to vent today, exclamation point. That's important. I'm on the struggle bus today. Struggle bus is capital S, capital B. You gave it you gave it importance, didn't you? It's a beautiful day. I'm working from the patio overlooking the golf course and enjoying the view. There's a little bit of positivity that followed a little bit of negativity, but it's reality of where you were in the moment. I just can't get a thing done! Exclamation point. I have a stack of files that need invoices, several groups that need pricing so I can promote. I'm inundated with phone calls and emails. Recovering from surgery. This is my same old problem that I discussed at our mastermind meeting. Maybe I just need a better routine or more focus? Question mark. I'm a bit overwhelmed. And it ends with this, you close with this, not finding much joy in my business today, with a sad face. So we read this, and the way I feel it, I feel such emotions that I know inherently, if I may say, you are a highly positive human being.
I am.
Because of all the exclamation points, right?
Yeah.
It's just that you were just getting crushed, overwhelmed, and having a real struggle keeping up, because when you look at this, right, Lisa, invoices are good.
Yeah, they're great.
Groups who are about to hire you, who need pricing, that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on, let me keep going. Phone calls and emails, that's good. Recovering from surgery, that's good. However, it's the same old problem that's coming back. You're looking for a routine. You need a solution. You need a fix. You need an answer. I'm going to give you a minute, having heard that read back to you, if you want to make any comments or say stuff, because then I want to have a little discussion with you about change and about maybe there are solutions.
Well, and I made some notes, and I always tease my son, who's a millennial, he talks a lot about work-life balance. And, I need that. I'm going to be 60 years old in July, and I don't want to work 60 hours a week anymore. And, what I'm looking for is, maybe, maybe a best practice checklist, um, you know, that I could follow procedures for the groups. I've done groups for years, but it's always just chaotic. And, now I'm getting a little older and can't multitask as well. And I'm worried about missing deadlines and stuff like that. So a best practice checklist, maybe setting aside chunks of my day to just focus on one thing. I'm struggling to get back with people, getting those quotes back on the individual stuff, which there's still some of that I want to do. I have great clients that I'm not quite ready to give up, in addition to my groups. So, I guess that's kind of what I'm looking for is, what is some of you guys that to be honest, I'm not a really highly organized person. And so I'm probably the best procrastinator in the world. And so maybe some of you out there that are really organized and really great with the details, I'm just looking for some little bit of help with that. How do you get through those days when it's just crazy?
No, that's very real, very great. I have to believe that almost everybody listening right now has either been where you are right now or is where you are right now, first of all. And as you describe this, I I've been in that place many, many times, very frequently, very often, because I thought I was the chief procrastinator. I thought I held that title, but apparently we share it. And when I have analyzed, for me, the procrastination, clearly, we tend to procrastinate stuff we just, it's the drudge work. It's the stuff we don't like doing. Um, Let me ask you, you use the word, piles, piles. And when you look at a pile, right? And I got piles on my desk right now, and I don't even want to look at it because it's just frightening what's in that pile. Um, how, if you were to look at that pile and instead of making it a mountain, making it to little itty bitty hills, just a question, what would that look like? So it's as if you you know you remember that candy. You remember that candy, Lisa? They used to come on the piece of paper. It may still make it where the little
Oh,
dots, and you eat the dots off the paper.
loved it.
I don't know what made me think about it, but here's the deal. Your mom she's all right. That's it. We're going to give you this much, right? And then you start at one end, and you eat each little dot, and it's so much more fun eating each little dot than if it was one big chunk, because then it's over, game over. In that case, there's enjoyment, there's pleasure in eating all the little dots. So the metaphor I'm looking at is, what if each little dot is a folder, an individual folder, or a specific client, whatever it is. And so you sort of have them lined up, not piled up,
Mm-hmm.
but lined up. And before you sit down at that desk, I'm telling you only what I do before you leave the office at night. It's lined up, not piled up. It's horizontal, not vertical, like a climb, like a mountain. And you're just eating one little sweet dot at a time. Because here's the thing, Lisa, what do those little dots, what do those folders represent?
Business, money,
People,
people. Mm-hmm.
happiness,
Mm-hmm.
trip, income,
Yeah.
success, doing what you love to do. Ultimately, that you're sending them someplace they want to go. They trust you. They love you. They trust you with their money. They trust you with their vacation. Right. So, perhaps it's a narrative flip on what that pile looks like, what's in that pile, and how we see that pile. Quite physically too. It's not just a mental thing, but it's a physical thing where you turn it. And that doesn't solve your problem, but sometimes, Lisa, because I've been there, I'm there right now. It's our perception, that fear of walking into the office because, oh God, that pile is still there, versus saying, that's it, I'm only going to get this much done today versus this. So I'll give you a chance to talk in just a second, but I know when I had to train for this Ironman, and I will continue to train for the next one, I didn't go out and I didn't swim, bike, run. That's not how you train. That's not how you get to the finish line. One day you swim. The next day you bike. The next day you run. And towards the end, you do what's called bricks, like, all right, I'm going big today. I'm going to, instead of 2 hours, I'm going to do 3/4 of a day. I'm going to do a long bike and a 3 or 5 mile run. It's called a brick. Okay. And so I put more time to accomplishing more. But I knew every day I had to put at least 2 hours a day into at least that one little task, crossing it off, getting it done, moving on, because that would reach the finish line. In your case, getting that folder done, invoiced out, money coming in, done, cross it off, and you could put those finished folders that you could make a vertical stack. How exciting is that be? Because it was like, oh, look at that go. So I don't know. It may not be very scientific, but you got a desk long enough to kind of be like those little dots and spread it out a bit different.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, my office right now is a disaster. I've
Yeah.
got paperwork. My parents both died within 4 months last year. I'm trying to get their
Mhm.
estates all settled. And, so I've got paperwork there and, it's just, I don't even like to go in my office right now because it's such a disaster. But,
Right.
I think taking each group into a pile, I think that's a great idea. Instead of this big stack, just each group with the sticky note on what it is, and just, okay, today I'm going to focus on this group, work my quotes, and then focus on this group. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would help. I just don't feel like I'm getting anything accomplished because I'm
Yeah.
doing this, and then I'm doing this, and then I'm like a squirrel chasing a nut,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Are you, because I do this all the time, being too ambitious, which like one would say, well, there's no such thing as being too ambitious. But however, are you setting the daily goals too high, and therefore, though you are completing many tasks, they're still not meeting your ambitious goals. So you feel you're not accomplishing, but from an outside perspective, I might look and say, Lisa, hold on here. You made 3 calls, you filed 2 things, you got 2 things in the computer, and you collected a payment. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, well, my husband always says I take on too much,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't know how to say no. But I mean, I never want to say no to business, especially if it's, group business, it's good business.
Yep.
But yeah, I probably set my goals too high. I probably need to be a little bit more realistic as to what I can get done in a day's time. Because I'll sit down at my desk at 7:30 in the morning, and before I know it, it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and I'm like, where did the day go? It
Yep.
just goes by so fast. So, um,
Lisa, you mentioned multitasking. Now, everybody who's listening right now, I'm curious how you feel about multitasking. Some people feel that they're super good, super great, and others say that they're not good at it. They don't like to do it. The articles I read, the research shows multitasking is not good. It's not effective because when you bounce around from project to project, you have to sort of get into it, right? You have to get back in that game, and that takes mental time. And then we tend to make more errors and forget things because we're not in that specific game. And for me, I will leave the desk. Now I know you go outside, that could be a distraction too, but finding a different environment, or literally, would you shut the phone, shut the email, because you're blocking time that from 10 to 12, the only thing you're going to do on this planet Earth, besides drink some coffee and use the potty, is get this group done, get the pricing done, make the phone calls done, close that folder, because at noon you're treating yourself to a delicious lunch, a walk around the park there, fresh air and some stretching, maybe a little yoga, or at least some breathing, because you succeeded. Versus in those 2 hours, getting pulled, getting yanked, getting distracted and deflected from one
well,
task.
and the emails are out of control. If a client emails me and I don't respond immediately, they're calling me on my cell phone. They're texting me. Did you get my email? So what I was thinking last night, I was sitting out on my patio just trying to figure out how to handle all this. I thought it would be great to draft an email that says, thank you for your email. I did receive it. I will respond as quickly as I can, or something along those lines, so that at least they know I received it. And I'm doing something else right now. I can't drop it. I mean, if it's a dire emergency, I mean, yes, of course, but I just need it. It's so distracting. And so I still, am trying to get that email thing that Zach had taught us about dropping everything in. that isn't important and then going back. I haven't had time
The
to do that.
folders, the
But
folders, yeah.
folders. So I'm thinking maybe I need to do that because, you know, my clients are so used to that instant
Yeah.
response, instant gratification, that I think I just need to say, I got it. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can, or I will respond within 24 hours or something like that.
That's a home run.
Yeah.
So I would like to encourage you not to think about it anymore, not to think
Do it.
it might work, and to do it. So let's just do a quick review, and this is for everybody here, that you are so committed to your people, your clients, that you want to answer the first call. You want to answer the first text. I get that. I love that. That's amazing. However, I'm here to tell you that if you weren't able to answer immediately, they still know you. They love you because you've been there for them. And if they do get some kind of response confirming, got your message, you don't have to make any excuses, but as long as they know you got it, if it's urgent, they'll call back, they'll send an urgent email or whatever. In fact, you can list your cell phone if it's urgent, or maybe they already have it. But I think it's a grand idea to do an autoresponder. And I know so many travel professionals already do that. You do an autoresponder. I'm not the tech guy, so I don't know what system you have to do it. So everybody gets an email saying, thank you. I want you to know I've received your email, and you can put whatever sentence you want. You don't want to say you're busy with other clients. Just say that you have my commitment to respond within 24 hours. So at least give yourself that day. At least give yourself that day and that piece. And then what you do is you put on your schedule, okay, from 9 to 11, whatever it is follow-up time. So it's first thing in the morning or end of the day, whichever. Maybe you do an hour in the morning, hour end of the day. And some owners actually put when their office hours are, and they may think, wow, what are you working half days? Well, no, for a half a day, I do client communications, contact Q&A. The other half, I'm working numbers. I'm putting stuff together. I'm working all day, but you put those hours when you are online and available. And regarding those folders that Zach talked about, and if everybody's wondering, who's Zach? Zach is my son. He came as our special guest expert to the mastermind regarding social media, social marketing. And you don't need to be a social marketing expert to know that, but he had suggested this, which I thought was great, that folders in your inbox are outstanding. And if you don't know how to set it up, talk to somebody who will just get it done. It won't take long. It's a brilliant way. I do this. I started to do it finally. And one more thing, Lisa, that I want to say is something that you're going to have to do. I hate to say it. I'm not the one telling you to do it. You're the one telling yourself to do it, is to take a half a day or whatever it's going to take. Get the folders done.
Mm-hmm.
Take another hour, take a half a day, go through each pile, spread them out horizontally, and prioritize. I see here, Linda had suggested, I find that just having to prioritize, it's most important to do that day. Linda goes on, I read an article for travel agents that they block a certain time in a day that they respond to emails and phone calls. And she trains her clients that she will talk to them at that time, except for emergencies. Beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful. Linda, thank you for sharing. Lisa, there you go. And it's about control, but in a loving way, about setting expectations with your clients, prospects, unclients, and followers. Remember that. Not everybody's a client. We always have to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So their expectations are set. Now, you've spoiled them, and that's okay. However, I believe it's a leadership skill. It shows leadership when you say, I am open for calls and callbacks from 10 to 2, whatever it is. That's a leadership skill. If you look at a C-suite woman or man at a company, it's rare that they have a 100% open door policy. While they'd love to do it and say, oh, come anytime, those leaders, those CEOs, CMOs, whatever, they need time to get stuff done too. And they'll only schedule certain times when they are available for other stuff because they got stuff to do, and it's a leadership skill. Don't be afraid to do that. If I might encourage you, it just showcases you got a business going on here.
Yep, I do. And
do.
I'm kind of panicking because I know that pretty soon all hell's going to bust loose, and I just need to get a grip on what I've got right now so that moving forward,
yes,
I'll be a little bit more organized. So this has helped tremendously. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. What if I suggest that you just said, well, all hell bust loose. What if I just tell you that it's already busted?
Yeah, it has. Mm-hmm.
It's happening. It's not coming tomorrow. It came yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
For you, Lisa, and everyone else listening right now, we're living it right now. We're no longer in the in-between. And although I know the ships haven't started sailing yet, and the resorts are, Cancun is nuts, right? When we were there, when I went back a couple of weeks later with the next, things are shaking. I had wanted to go with my wife, take her for anniversary to LeBlanc. My buddy at the Palace said, not going to happen, Stu. We're out of space, man. Things are going crazy. So while everything's not coming back at the same time, and Karen D, who's in boot camp, she's struggling to decide, do I do my Downton Abbey group in July, August? Do I not? What do I do? So it's not crystal clear yet, but we're out of the in-between, and we, certain products, right? We're still a little unsure about, but people are so eager, gangbusters, excited. Hey, listen, when I was down, I just have to share this, in Panama City Beach, first time I'd ever been there. Not only were there, 1,800 athletes in town with their families, but there was a Jeep convention going on too. And Lisa, I'm here to tell you, every human being who lives in Alabama and Georgia drove to Panama City Beach that day because it was gorgeous weather. The mask thing is changing. And the restaurants, there's no there's no requirements. Every single human being was there at the same time. It's open. It's happening today. And I encourage you and everyone right now, give yourself the gift of an hour a day, half day, or even a full day to go back a house, get the folders done, get new lists on, have your process set. Because if you don't, it will be overwhelming. You don't want to be overwhelmed when it comes to travel because you don't want to make a mistake. Doreen said, and hey everybody, we only got like a minute left, so this is amazing. I hope everyone has found this fruitful and helpful and encouraging. And if you're experiencing what Lisa experienced yesterday, if you're on that struggle bus today, there's some. It's not going to stop coming. The floodgates are coming, man. It's coming at you. You can't change what's coming at you. You can change how you deal with what's coming at you. Well, I just want to read this, and then Lisa, I want to have some parting words from you. Doreen shares, Lisa, thank you for sharing your story. The solutions are wonderful. My clients are spoiled too. I need to set up my expectations for them and then retake control. It's your leadership. Don't look at taking control and saying no, or can't talk now, gotta call you back, as not good customer service. It's leadership, skill set, and there you go. Any last words, Lisa?
I think it's a matter of just like you said, leadership, retraining your clients, taking control of your business, and making it be the business you want it to be, and don't let the Bob Dickinson from Carnival used to say, don't let the inmates run the asylum. So I think that's what I need to do. I need to retrain my clients.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I hope it helped. And Stuart, I'm going to have some things done by our mastermind meeting next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go. You go. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being courageous. Thank you for being raw. I wish you the very best of success. Right back at you. And everybody who's been with us today, I hope that we've given you a little lift. If you have any comments or suggestions, make sure you share back.